Reason not to see number 1. It's uneven.
The tone shifts between 3 different things all the time. Part of it is like this dark, gritty thriller, and then part of it is these moments where people are talking and getting information out, and there's like humor that comes out of the situation. And then the third part is like, there's just this action movie humor they keep throwing out, or they'll cut to somebody and they'll say some witty line about the action that just happened. Like,
there's certainly a lot of hit and miss humor in this film too.
Yeah.
Like at times the humor was like, that seems like it belongs in a different movie.
Yeah, there's a scene specifically where they get these 2 goons to come and take care of Tom Cruise. And the scene itself is fun, but it doesn't, it's like, the 2 guys are such goons, they're trying to beat the crap out of Tom Cruise, which they could have easily done.
Yeah.
Except they're like knocking into each other and like they have no skill or
it's like
plan.
slapstick comedy.
It becomes the Three Stooges for a minute, and it's like, why? These criminals are so diabolical, where did they get these dudes? Like, where? You know?
Yeah.
Christopher McQuarrie. See, I know he's the only credited writer, but while I was watching this movie, I couldn't help but feel like there was a punch-up writer too, because just the scenes shift. It's like one scene feels like it was written by one guy, and another scene feels like it was written by a different guy. I feel like they tried to make a dark, gritty action thriller, but then somewhere along the line someone was like, but we should make this a popcorn action movie too. Yeah. And so those ideas are constantly at war, so it makes the tone really weird.
Some things are not really cleared up, some things are a little bit confusing, and it's just a lot of the tonal shifts were bothersome to me.
Yeah.
It was...
I just kept finding myself noticing it, getting pulled out, and then being pulled in by something that was really cool, and then being pulled out again by like, what's this line here for? You know? So it was like, it was a constant like, I'm in and I'm out, you know.
That's what she said. We need to bring that back.
Do we though?
Yes. I will admit, the film had me laughing a few times.
I couldn't help but feel partway through, it's like there are parts of the crime thriller aspect, you know, the details of, you know, who's getting framed and what evidence goes to support which theory, like those things, a lot of that's really tight. And then there's, you know, this action scenes, and then there's this weird humor and stuff like that, and it's kind of, it's not all over the place in an erratic way, but it has tone problems, and I almost feel like it's trying to be a Tony Gilroy movie.
Yeah.
Except, you know, you don't have Tony Gilroy there to make sure that everything is succinct and the tone is right.
And it's not a spy movie, but there is certain elements that sort of remind me of the Bourne movies in a way.
Yeah, there are business elements to the crime, you know, and Tony Gilroy gets into that territory a lot where, you know, there are corporations and, you know, it's money's changing hands and why.
But that's what I mean, they had all these different puzzle pieces, but the puzzle just did not feel smooth.
Reason not to see number 2. One-note characters. I enjoyed watching it, but I feel like it's because the actors brought depth to the roles, not because the roles were written particularly well or with a lot of dimension.
Yeah, the characters were kind of just stagnant throughout.
Yeah, nobody really changes, you know, everyone does the same thing the whole time.
That's what I mean, like, you're right, the actors brought the depth to these performances, yet when you just look at the material itself, it's like there's really not much going on with a lot of these characters internally.
It's not necessarily about character arcs, so to speak. I mean, according to the rules of writing, everyone should have an arc. You know,
it's more about the mystery.
It's about the mystery, but at the same time, you know, you do notice afterwards, it's like, nobody changed or learned much of anything from this experience.
It kind of started off one way, and then it sort of ended abruptly the same way. Yeah.
It's like, you know, the arc, I guess, is just that people started without information and then they got some information.
Yeah.
Split decision number 1. Rosamund Pike.
She seemed to be doing this throughout the whole movie.
Oh.
It's like Edward Cullen.
I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah, you're right. Maybe I'm going a little too harsh.
So mean.
Yeah.
I enjoyed her. I mean, like we said before, like a lot of the characters are kind of drawn flatly anyway, and a lot of the things she's given to do is react to very heartbreaking information or being, you know, terrified.
Yeah.
So, but I didn't really think that was so much on her as it was on the script.
The thing is, though, a lot of the characters are one note, yes. All the characters are one note, yeah. But her performance itself was the only one I felt did not elevate the screenplay at all. I didn't think she brought depth to the performance. I thought she was way too one note, but probably the most annoying thing to me was the way she interacted with Tom Cruise. I thought her and Tom Cruise really lacked chemistry. It was weird for me because I thought Tom Cruise was doing his best with that. But with her, I thought she was more focused on her performance than the actual interest in Jack Reacher and stuff.
Somebody came in and was trying to crowbar in a romantic story.
Yeah, it felt forced. Felt very forced.
But again, that felt like a weird script decision or a weird directorial decision where it's like, get really close together physically and maybe hint that you might want to kiss, but there's no reason for you guys to do that.
I just felt that she didn't bring anything to this performance that I felt gravitated towards whatsoever. You know, everyone else sort of brought something in, but she was the only one that I felt wasn't on anyone else's level.
I didn't think she was as good as Tom Cruise and some of the other, you know, standout characters, but I thought she was fine.
You're wrong.
Split decision number 2. Lacks thrills.
You thought it lacked thrills?
Yeah, big time. That first hour, it was interesting to see how they set up the movie because it was a unique way to show that, hey, the James bar is being set up right from the beginning. It was an interesting setup, but at the same time I felt that's where the default came in because they spent forever in that first hour trying to figure out whatever mysteries they got going on that the audience already knows the answer to pretty much. The majority of it, the audience already knew. And the mystery that they had going on, I felt it lacked originality. I also felt that a lot of it was kind of predictable. And on top of that too, I just felt there should have been more action to begin with. And granted, I know I should just accept the material based off what it is, but I thought that its best moments came in the action scenes.
Okay.
So I felt that it would have delivered more if there was more action. Or if they just made the whole mystery more thrilling. And I know a lot of people are feeling that way, but I have a feeling you enjoyed the mystery, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna say that it's some groundbreaking thing. I thought that the actual components of the mystery, like all the clues and stuff, were cool and tight for the most part. I mean, I thought it was thrilling a lot of times. It's an uneven movie, but like I really dug the opening scene, and for me,
it has its moments of thrilling, but overall I wouldn't say it's a thrilling film.
I think it's more thrilling than not. I'm not gonna say like, oh my god, it's a roller coaster ride, but I thought it was thrilling because
this is definitely a split decision.
Yeah, because the whole story with Bar, you know, for me that was like I really liked getting the whole sequence where he sort of explains who Bar is, and for me that sort of brought up the thrill, I guess you would say, of like oh no, like this guy is not guilty, like how are they gonna tie this around the right way? So I was with it for that stuff.
Well, yeah, honestly too, the reason why I might not be feeling the way you feel is because I saw the Jack Reacher, the second trailer, a billion times. I was really anticipating this movie, but that trailer gives away pretty much all the best stuff about this film. It really spoiled the why. So I think that's why I probably couldn't get as enthralled by the mystery and all that.
I was thrilled by it. Like when it had me, I was with it, and it had me frequently.
I can respect that, even though you're wrong.
No, that makes sense. Thank you for clearing that up. I'm glad that I know now.
Alright, we're done.